Right, this is version 3 of the crank system. The width of this is such that it will exactly fit just inside the sound box of Hurdy Gurdy, or the DigiGurdy variant, and this height is the same. This part above this line would be visible. Okay, so it gives you the right visual effect. And what I've got here is, I'm just testing a tensioning system, which is simply a bit of nylon attached to the lever connected to a tuning peg. Turn the peg, pulls it a little bit, and the drum brake is engaged. It's just mildly, lightly on at the moment. Something else I've realised, I've had to reprint this part several times. The magnet has to be located bang over the centre of the sensor, which is actually not in the middle of this board, to make it awkward. So what I've done is I've got extra large holes here and here with wide washers relatively, so you can move this grey part left, right, up, down a couple of millimetres each direction, which helps get it right. And then I'm also not screwing this on. I've held it on with blue tack until I get the readings correctly, and then I'll put a tiny daub of glue gun glue here and here and remove the blue tack. And the other thing is the magnet has to be extremely close. Probably seems to be less than a millimetre away. I don't know if you can see through there, probably not. The actual sensor. So I actually had it touching the sensor, and then I just moved it in a fraction. And what we find now, if I turn the handle, if I engage the app, right, it's running. You do one loop to calibrate. Now on the left is the angle. You can see it gradually goes down to 0 and then back to 360. Here we go, 360. And then this value is the angle difference between one reading, the previous reading, and the current reading. So as you crank, the faster you crank, the larger it gets. So if I crank at a kind of average speed, it's reading about 15 to 20. And if I accelerate above 35, you get a buzz. So I think that will work conceptually. I think that will work. So the next thing is to lock this down with 2 drops of glue, and then I'm also going to try converting the Uno here, Arduino Uno, to a Teensy LC board. I've now got a Teensy LC attached to this, and if I crank the handle you can see it's working exactly the same. Angle goes down to 0, then 360. And the right hand one is the speed, and crank it, get some buzz. The advantage of the LC, as I've said before, is it's got a genuine analog voltage output pin, which means I can connect that to the analog input of the main Teensy on the main board, and it will work just as the gear motor system does, with the little adjustment knob, which makes that a direct plug-in replacement with a little bit of wiring. So that's good.